Hey, this is Joe Patillo, and you're listening to Rock On Radio.
What?
No. Stop dancing. No.
Wow. You hear that, Art?
No, we're on YouTube now, so you really can't do visuals.
There was no hesitation.
No. That's a different dance. Oh, no. Oh, stop. Slower.
Slower? Feelings.
Nothing more than feelings. That's slow.
Oh, no. Oh, stop. Just stop.
Why, you excited?
I'm going to have a cardiac arrest.
Oh, the cardiac arrest.
Cardiac arrest tour.
There it is. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Rock On Radio. It's Sunday night. It's 7 o'clock. And we are here live on COA Radio. I am your host, Danny Coleman. We are joined by producer
Hello.
Rock On Claire. Art, engineer Art is here.
Hello.
We're going to call him Heart today.
Heart. Yes, because today, the theme of the
Theme
day
today.
is hearts.
Woo-hoo!
There we go.
Cardiac
Because
arrest.
our guest this evening is live, making another stop on his cardiac arrest tour. Rick Wino.
Hey, thank you. Glad to be here.
Rock On Radio is sponsored this evening by actress Eileen Sullivan, CPA Jody Weber, Johnny's Autoglass, John Alberici, O'Connor's American Bar and Grill of Mount Holly, the official caterers of the Rock On Radio Christmas Spectacular.
That's great.
Woo-hoo.
And Rock On Radio in general.
Mhm.
And Metopolol.
Yes. D.L. Byron.
Or
D.L.
Linton.
Yeah, right. D.L. Byron of Zen Archer. Zen
Archer.
Hot Sauce. We are
Got
the
an
only
accent.
radio program with an Grammy Award-winning hot sauce maker as a sponsor.
Yes.
God. I am still suffering the effects of a chili contest this afternoon.
And drum roll.
Chili one.
How'd you do?
Second place.
Nice.
place.
Very good.
I always hesitate. You know, it was a popular vote
Right.
type of thing. And
You didn't
since
have any
I
friends
really
there?
don't know anybody in Bristol, Pennsylvania, and I have no friends.
Aw.
I didn't expect to really get anything. So second place was pretty
Oh,
cool.
yeah, they like you won on taste.
I'll take it. Yes.
Yes, that's great.
Yes. It was funny because I went in there about halfway through to check, and the only chili, there were two compartments, half trays of chili. You had to make two half trays.
Mhm.
And the first tray of mine, I was the only chili that was totally gone.
Cool. Nice.
So,
That's a good indication.
you're right there, Mr. Winner.
Yeah, I'll be
All right, you feel
Better
better now?
now.
Now, I just want to say, in preparation of Rick coming here, is that I actually got certified in CPR this past week.
Just in case.
Just in case. Actually did.
Thank you. Thank you
Yes.
so much. It was very kind of you.
You should probably go on tour with him,
Research.
just in
Yeah.
case.
The cardiac arrest tour. We bring our own AEDs.
I was gonna say, you play your
You
AED.
need defib pads?
Yeah.
I can hook you up.
Why, thank you, Danny.
I'm going on the road. I'm
See,
stiff.
this is what love is.
No, no pun intended.
what
We'll
love
hook
is
you up
all
with
about.
AED pads.
If you want to reach out to us tonight, please do so at
Please help.
609-241-7103. 609-241-7103. We're expecting a phone call from my good buddy, a
expecting?
fellow that I've spent time in a band with before, my good buddy Glenn Goss. And he just did an album with the Hooters drummer, one of the finest drummers in the land, actually.
David. Yeah.
Yeah, David Usikian and Usikinen.
I was like, how do you spell that? He's got a really cool name.
I don't know how to pronounce it. That's what I'm going with now.
Gotcha.
They are both going to give us a call probably in about 10 minutes or so to talk about that disc. We'll play a tune or two off of it.
Nice.
Rick Wino is here, though, this
Hey.
evening. Because,
No way. I thought he died.
He did, but he came back.
apparently he resurrected.
Saved.
It's not even Easter.
I'm going to.
You pushed the stone aside and got out of the room.
Oh, it's a big stone, you know.
Meanwhile, thank you, Art, for doing it like out of the camera this time. Last week, you're standing in front of me.
You should explain what Art's doing out of the camera.
Art's getting naked. Oh wait,
Naked radio.
Naked radio and Lure's not here.
no, I know. Lauren Cheadle's not here. But we have a show this evening because shortly after the 10th annual Christmas Spectacular, Mr. Wino said to me, "It's like if you want me to continue and pick up where I left off, because you were a little raucous at the Christmas show."
Raucous? Me?
You were out of
No
control.
way. Claire, was I raucous?
Yes.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
But yeah. And when you were a little you were like, I can come back anytime you want. We can pick up where we left off.
Yeah, we had a
Let's
good
try
time.
not to pick up where we left off.
Oh, we had a wonderful time, Claire. What are you talking about?
A fun time was had by all.
Yeah.
You heard.
We're falling out of the chair.
You were here,
Oh,
weren't you?
You were here, weren't you?
yes, I was here. I was here.
Your daughters were here.
Not at that point. Oh, yes, they were.
Everybody was here.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah, we had a great Christmas.
No,
show.
actually, they weren't here at that point.
No, they weren't here. When,
No.
No?
we
You
would
got
have never.
ruckus?
We would have never taken to the ruckus
We
point
went there.
with our daughters.
Again, if you want to give us a call tonight, you can do so 609-241-7103. We have you. I'm pointing at you at home. For those of you watching on radio, we
Them?
have a new website.
Woohoo, we do.
Claire,
Yay.
why don't you tell us about the website?
Sure. It is, you can get there shorthanded, DCROR.com,
It's time to
Or
pay the check.
it's, which stands for Danny Coleman's RockOnRadio.com. And you go we have updated events that are on there attached to our calendar. So you make changes to your calendar and they show up on the website.
That's a beautiful thing.
And people can keep up to date on your happy hour, on our show, and on
Crock on
Crock
Chili,
on Chili, and the 10th anniversary show, and all that good
which
stuff.
is April 24th.
Mhm.
At the
Asbury
Asbury Hotel. I want to thank Brian Eric for securing the date and giving up his night. Usually he does a showcase there. He gladly stepped out, volunteered, and
Nice.
said, "Why don't you take my night?" And
Brian's a good guy.
he,
I love the way we had him on.
Yep, with the paper jets. Yep. And Brian said, "Why don't you take my night? Because 10 years is,
Cool.
nothing to." I believe
Sneeze
the term
at?
used was sneezed at. Yes. Brian actually took my place on. It was one more with
Mhm.
Danny Coleman. Now it's one more with Brian Eric on the Carousel Arts YouTube network.
Mhm.
So you can see Brian on Monday nights, tomorrow night actually.
Nice.
But we have at this show scheduled to perform.
Mhm.
We have Radio Fiction, John Alberici, The Williams Boy, Rick Barth,
Strawberry pie.
Strawberry Pie. Who else? Joe Weimer is going to headline. Who else? I'm waiting.
No, we didn't hear from Soph, right?
Nope, not yet. But yeah, we have. So we're really not exactly 100% sure yet, but we have a good lineup so far.
Good.
So it'll be a fun night. Anybody who's ever been a guest of this program, of course, is welcome to stop on by and say hello. I've already got commitments from former co-hosts BC, Cal Schwartz, and Christine Floyd.
Excellent.
They're going to stop down and say hello and
Nice.
perhaps say a few words. Perhaps roast me. Who knows what's going
I'll
to
make
take
sure that they
place.
roast you. Yes.
Yes.
I'm in charge of the clipboard, so
Oh, Miss Clipboard.
I am the producer after all.
I see.
Power.
You see, the power is in the producing. It's not in the co-hosting.
It's in a clipboard.
It's in the clipboard. Yes. The corrugation.
Is it a nice clipboard or is it one of those old-fashioned brown clipboards with the metal?
Old-fashioned.
With the bent,
As old-fashioned as me.
the bent ends.
Yep.
She came in with her clipboard.
That there could be my good friend Glenn Goss.
Woohoo!
He's calling in this evening because, as I said, we're expecting another phone call from David Usickinen of the Hooters.
Woohoo!
Do you know him? Do you ever jam with them guys?
Actually, when we did Pat Denizio's 60th birthday bash in Scotch Plains, the Hooters did play.
Did they?
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, there it is.
And
Synchronized
there
calling.
he is.
Woohoo!
It's like synchronized swimming.
It is. Oh no. Oh no. Oh.
Hey, Danny. How you doing, buddy?
There we go. Hello. Welcome to. Oh, what do we got going on there? Who's? Welcome to Rock On Radio. Is that you, David?
You got me.
There you go. And is that you? Is that you, Glenn?
That is me, and I'm also here with my better half, Nathan Roth, who's actually Nadine from Gigi and Nadine's. So we're say hello, Nate.
Hey, how you guys doing?
That is fantastic. All right, who wants to go first here?
Well, Dave, you want to talk about the record? I love when you talk about it because your insight on it is always so great.
Yeah, that's fine with me. Sure, Danny, that's fine. Yeah, absolutely. If you want to ask me, yeah, whatever, shoot to me. That's fine.
There you go. All right. So, Glenn just reached out to me the other day about this record. I didn't even realize you guys were working together. So, tell me about it. What brought this on?
Well, I guess I could go then. I've been writing some songs with Nathan, and then Eric Bazillion, every time he was in town, would pop into town, and he helped us finish one song. And then Davey, when he was in town, one time he came into town, and I had a few songs. I said, hey, you want to play on these? And he said, yeah. And after he played on them, he said, wow, man, you should put this out. And that was it. We put it out. We had some help from a company called God Peace, who also is investing or also sponsoring. We're doing a Rock for Life event in LA in May, and they sponsored that, and they sponsored our record. So we got lucky.
Oh, fantastic! Now, so David, now you performed on this. Did Eric perform on this also?
Yeah. Eric actually plays harmonica.
Oh, okay, nice.
Yeah, I mean, it was something that, I've known Glenn for, an ungodly amount of time. We've been friends for a long time, and we collaborated. I played on some of his music over the years. He co-wrote Hanging on a Heartbeat for the Hooters back in 1983. And really, that was like one of the first semi-hits the band ever had. And since then, we've been friends, and we worked on music together for many years. So when he did this record, when he played me the songs, there's a lot of reasons why I was intrigued by it. Not only that he's a great artist and a great writer, it was a lot of the subject matter and the fact that it was recorded in an actual rehab, which blew my mind.
Now,
a drug and alcohol rehab. Well, I'm the creative arts managing director at a drug and alcohol rehab.
Who does that? Who records a record in a rehab?
Well, now the irony of this, Glenn.
Yes.
Since you reached out and is that City of Angels Radio is our broadcast station, coaradio.com. This is a drug and alcohol recovery and addiction program that helps get people into rehab. This is where we're broadcasting.
I had no idea. How wow, the universe, what can you say?
Small world.
Unbelievable. So, half the proceeds of this go to this place called Base Hoover, which Nathan and I actually went through, and to help pay for treatment for people that can't afford it. It's run by Harry Rosetta. It was started 30 years ago, and the rabbi, who Davey knows, it's just a remarkable place. It saved my life. It saved Nathan's life.
Right.
So, well, yes, that is.
Hey, Dave, tell them about Rock for Life a little bit.
So, another component of this whole thing with Gigi Nadine and Songs from a Rehab was that about a year ago, this initially got started with the thought of maybe of doing a concert which I think the rabbi came up with the name Rock for Life.
Yeah,
And, you know, Glenn invited his friends, that some that are in recovery, some that are not, but all very supportive and into the idea of promoting a show like that, that raises awareness about the condition of addiction and alcoholism and mental illness. I mean, I love Glenn's record because there's a lot of subject matter that is just about the pain of getting better and recover. And it's a really deep, more so than even the music, but the lyrics always touch me. So the concert for Rock for Life is, you know, we're playing a concert on May 18th, and some of our friends from Philadelphia are coming. We hope to bring in a couple more guests from Los Angeles, all around the country, and maybe even around the world to come play this show.
We got Kenny Aronson, Billy
kidding.
Burnett, Charlie Ingler.
Charlie
and
Ingler of the
some
Soul
others.
Survivors
Some
is going to come
special
sing. It's going to be a great night.
Where is this concert going to take place?
It's actually going to be at Beit Shuva, you know?
Yeah.
It's going to be, we have a sanctuary there. We're going to turn it into a rock, you know? I've done things with like the Angie McCartney. We've done events there. So we're just going to bring some sound reinforcements in, some lights, and we'll be cool.
All right. Now, David, you're going to be flying out to L.A. to do this with them?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, most definitely. Actually, I was just out there last week. Glenn and I did actually, we did a commercial last week. We were out there playing. So we were both on the session together. So I was out there last week. And this came about because I was out there at NAMM the week before, and I played with Glenn at Teshuva on the Friday night. And then the other thing came about. But yeah, I mean, look, any excuse to get out to the sun and hang out and play with great people that are just in the same thing that I'm into, you don't have to twist my arm.
Now, Glenn and I spent some time together in a band with a friend of ours, and our guest here this evening, Mr. Rick Wino, who was Pat Denizio's right-hand man for the last 4 years.
Pat.
Right? He was Pat's accompaniment on stage for the last 4 years.
Wow.
Rick Wino, we have we have.
Oh, we should mention who we played with, Zara Phillips, right?
And so has Rick. He played guitar for Zara Phillips as well. Yes.
Oh wow!
Wow.
Yeah, I really missed that. You know, they were fun times. We played the Saint. You know, we're actually talking about with Gigi Nadine. We're actually starting to get a few offers to play around the country, but we were thinking Davey wants to do some gigs in Philly and Jersey. Maybe we'll do something like the Saint or the Wonder Bar or something.
You got to let me know, sir, when you guys come.
Oh, of course I would.
Yeah.
All right, so,
absolutely.
So tell me a little bit about this CD. It's is it an EP or is it a CD?
It's an EP. It's an EP. You know, we did it real fast. You know, and in the middle of it, I actually had a heart attack, so it delayed a little bit. It delayed it coming out. You know.
Yeah.
Well, actually, we're laughing.
I knew music was going to do that one day, Jimmy.
Glenn, we're laughing because Wino had a heart attack a few months ago. We're calling it the cardiac arrest tour.
You know,
December.
Yeah,
December 28th.
I'm doing good, thank God. Davey's my personal trainer.
So we'll send Wino out to play guitar for you guys.
To do a cardiac tour.
We'll have the oxygen in the wheelchair set up.
Bring an AED's optional.
You can call it the geriatric sessions.
Right, now we didn't have to go there.
Danny, we're really excited, and and thank you, for doing this with us, because I know how much you love music and what a music guy you are, and how instrumental you are in that Jersey scene, that Asbury Park scene, which is all, the mind-blowing music scene.
Yeah, Glenn, you believe we're going to be celebrating our 10th anniversary in April, man. 10 years of Rock on Radio.
God bless you, man. That's just
that's wonderful. That's great.
Yeah,
that's really great, man. You keep the torch going, which is beautiful.
Well, it's nice when I get guys like, the three of you calling in this evening and supporting the program. That's what makes it all worth it. As many times as I've wanted to kind of hang my head and say, is anybody really listening? And then you guys call up and it's like, yes, all right, I'll keep going another week.
There you go.
Yeah.
So, all right, well, what's this? What's the title of this EP?
Well, the title song's from a rehab. And the Gigi Nadine thing came about like in the studio. I was making fun because Nathan would come in and do these high vocals like on my stuff. I said, well, it's like Gigi and the Nadines. And then we hooked up with a radio promoter, and he said, what's the name of the band? I said, I don't really have one. I said, we were kind of calling it Gigi and the Nadines, and he said, drop the end. So I'm Gigi, he's Nadine, and you know what? We actually may be doing something more serious with him, because when we were in the studio with last week, we were in the studio with Phil Niccolo. It was the engineer on that project, and he heard Nathan sing, and he got interested. So we're actually talking to Phil about maybe doing a real record, another record.
A real record? Well, what's this one?
Well, it's a real record, but I mean, something really focused. And, we did this fast, and we did this. And like Davey said, this was a labor of love, and it was an important thing to get out there for us because of the recovery and addiction message,
But Glenn is really being very humble here with putting it out. I mean, the record, what really grabbed me as someone that works on, I think, a lot of great songs with songwriters, I think the content is what really drove me to wanting to play on this, because I would tell him, I would hear these songs and I'm thinking, that stuff doesn't happen overnight. He worked really hard on the song, on the content, on the lyrics. And then when I went and tracked this stuff, the stuff was really laid out pretty simple to put the drums down on. But, then we brought in my friend Bill Whitman to mix and engineer it. We had a lot of help with, getting it to sound the way it sounds. But there's a real identity to Gigi Nadine. I think they really landed on something that is a really interesting sound. And more than anything, the message is really incredible. So it's not something that he really put together in one night. He's really worked hard on it. And he's just being humble, man, right here. But the record is really a great record. And, I work with two really great writers in the Hooters, Rob Hyman and Eric Bazillion. And, after a while, you start hearing material that's, flushed out and really nice. His stuff is fantastic. This record is a must hear, man. Your listeners got to check it out. It's really good.
Fantastic.
Wow, Dave, thanks, man.
Now,
and it never would have been the same without you.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you. But look, it's easy. Danny will tell you, he's a drummer. When you're playing great music, it gets easy. When you're playing crap music, that's when it's a job.
So Glenn is very humble, and the relationship that we have grown into over the last 2+ years has been amazing. So I have been to multiple rehab stints in my life, and the difference with Beit Shuva and the treatment model that we went through out there is a long term. And we have the music department and a recording studio, and being able to work with really talented, amazing, caring people has really helped in my healing process. And it's been an amazing journey. Glenn's an amazing friend and mentor to me, and Dave's a great guy too.
Nathan's instrument, Nathan's voice is really unbelievable. His voice is like an unusual. He's always in key. He's got incredible power, but there's this. It's like an instrument that you hear. Like, what is that? And that was another thing that was intriguing to me. The combination of Glenn and Nathan singing is very unique, and I think that's another aspect of this project that I really enjoy.
Well, one of the things that actually, I have several questions before we get to some music and let you guys go. Number one is, have you ever run across a better mandolin player than Glenn Goss? Any of you? Glenn and I, if you go to, we were talking about Zara Phillips, you go to her Red Boots video, he and I are both in that video. And it's kind of funny, I actually just, when you messaged me, again, Glenn, like the universe, it popped up on my YouTube for some reason. And I was watching it, and like 10 minutes later, your email. It's
actually really cool video that Sarah put together.
Yes.
Hey,
go ahead.
Hey, Danny, you know why that happened? Because they're listening to you on the internet.
Yes, that's exactly right. They told me I was crazy for trying to get past the dinosaur days of FM terrestrial radio, but you know. Now,
well,
I actually
that's cool what you're doing.
well, we're trying. I mean, I feature unsigned indie bands every week.
Yeah,
Give them,
great.
2 hours of just them. And Mr. Wino is here with us this evening, and we're gonna get to him. So I got to let you guys go. But David, I actually I have 2 questions for you guys. Number one, where do we find this? How do we get a copy of this disc?
iTunes, Amazon, Spotify. You can download it. You can get the record there. We're still working on getting it in brick and mortar stores, but right now online, if you go to Amazon.com. Glenn, what's your website? Do you have a website, Glenn, where you can get it?
Songs from a Rehab. Songsfromrehab.com, right?
Yeah, songsfromrehab.com. Is that correct?
All right.
And you can find it on all of the streaming outlets, Spotify and iTunes. And
It's also on
online.
Facebook.
All that stuff. And like Davey said, Davey's working on Freddie his brick and mortar and vending machines.
Well, now the other question. This is just for David, because David, you were the only person I know, other than possibly maybe Michael Tierson or Cindy Drew, one or the other. I can't remember which.
Wow.
But you were the only other person I know who could actually tell me, and this is just something I need to know personally. What was that like in July of 1985 when you stepped on stage to kick off Live Aid?
It was, well, right before I sat behind my drums, Jack Nicholson shook my hand, and I'm walking on stage, the actor, and One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, I think, shortly before that won an Oscar. Jack was my favorite actor, and here I'm like, it was so surreal. Jack Nicholson shakes my hand. He says, "Go get him, kid." I mean, look, what a moment. And to that day, I still remember, like, and thank God that Bob Clearmountain was mixing that show, because we played All You Zombies, and Bob Clearmountain, he never heard the band before, and I'll tell you what, he did a fantastic mix on the band. Once he figured out that I wasn't playing a snare drum and I was doing a cross stick, once he figured that out, the mix was one of the best of the evening, and he saved the show, because back in the day I was the only guy at the show wearing in-ears that day, in-ear monitors.
Right.
And a good thing for it too, because if I didn't, I wouldn't have heard a damn thing that was going on. But it was a great day, and it was amazing, and frankly, it changed our world as a band, the Hooters, because we were heard all around the world that day.
I mean, to be able to look out at JFK Stadium, which of course no longer exists, but to be able to look at it 100, there was like 100,000 people there, right? Is that what it was?
Yeah. And the crazy thing is, that wasn't the first time I played there. We opened for The Who in 1982, and that was the first time I played there, which was remarkable. And then we get the shot to open Live Aid, and look, that day was magical, because we're hanging out with Ron Wood, Bob Dylan, Led Zeppelin, Jimmy Page, Madonna. I mean, it was just the most amazing day. It was a day that, now with all the attention with the Oscars tonight and Queen, and you see I can't even say it. The Queen movie, Bohemian Rhapsody, of course, and you see what's happening, and you see that performance, and you can't help but look back and look at that day in amazement, and I still can't believe that we played it. Unbelievable.
Yeah, now you are the only person I've ever spoken to that can give me a first-hand account of what it was like to sit on that stage. And
well, I never saw it back then. I never saw a revolving stage. Bill Graham set it up so that they can get to the next act quickly. They were setting up the band that was coming on after the first 2 bands on the back of the stage, so there was guys spinning the stage around on a revolving, it's kind of like that movie, what's that play out there on, Hamilton right now, the same circular kind of thing. They were moving that thing around to the front, and it was remarkable. It was a remarkable day.
Fantastic. Well, thank you for sharing that memory. I always wanted to talk to somebody that was there. I watched it on television.
It was hot. It was hot. And, Glenn and I were, matter of fact, I think Glenn and I were hanging out the day before. And, it was a time in my life that, there were really cool things happening. And the amazing thing is, I've been doing it for almost 4 years with Glenn. Yeah. So Glenn and I have been doing this a long time together. So it's really nice that he's having this moment right now that is one of many because he keeps on creating great music.
All right. Well, which one of these tunes would you like us to play that you sent me there, Glenn?
You pick it, Dave.
Well, since
Well, I'll tell you, why don't you play the lead track? I mean, you know, like I love
here's what I sent him. I sent him Mr. Moody, I sent him Hypocrite, and I sent him Two Monkeys.
Well,
Moody Man, Two Monkeys.
Hey, look, can't miss. Wherever you put the needle down on, go for it. You hear what I said? Needle down. I'm old.
You pick it, Dave. I don't care. They're all.
All right. Well, what we'll do is here. I'll tell you what. We're gonna forward this right on to my engineer Art. Say hello to Engineer Art, my producer Claire, while we're here.
Hello, Claire.
Hey guys.
What's up?
And we're gonna send Art this music right now, and we're gonna wrap things up with you guys. We're gonna play it. We're gonna play what are they? Oh, Two Monkeys. I think we're gonna play.
Nathan's featuring Nathan Ross.
We're gonna play Two Monkeys, and then probably towards the end of the program we'll play something else.
Perfect.
Excellent.
You know, for me tonight, this is great. I haven't talked to Glenn since you moved, essentially,
Yeah.
other than here and there on Facebook. Nathan, it's nice to meet Nathan. David, I'm a big fan of your work, so it's
thank
a
you.
pleasure to speak with you. We have
Likewise.
we have Rick Wino here,
Yeah.
Hey, Rick.
who's been being strangely quiet, which is unusual for him.
Yes.
Well, I'm just monitoring my heart.
I'm getting worried.
He's got his pacemaker adjusted back here.
Oh.
Nice, Dan, really.
The cardiac
I
arrest.
got a question real quick. If people want to hear the interview again, is it available?
Yes, it'll be on
Great.
coaradio.com.
Yeah,
Perfect.
Art will have it online by tomorrow afternoon at some point, and you can hear it.
Nice.
You can hear the whole thing in its entirety right here on COA Radio.
Perfect.
And you have your events
Radio,
on your
radio,
Facebook.
radio.
You can download it from there too.
Yes.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, go to your Facebook.
Oh,
Go to
cool. That's really good. Well, I'll make sure we put it out.
And what is it?
Excellent.
Claire?
It's on your Facebook page also, Gary. Danny, you have
Right.
Rock on Radio,
Hey, you over
Two.
there.
Okay.
and the
Oh,
event should be on there.
Okay, yes, I saw you rock on radio. It's great. Looks really good.
Oh, thank you. Thank Claire. Claire is the
Claire, you know what? I had a feeling Claire did that.
Put it on there already? Yep.
you know
I've
me,
been busy. I've been busy.
Glenn. So, Art, do we have that? All right. Well, fellas, thank you so much
Thank you,
you.
Danny.
for taking the
Danny?
time to hang out with us.
And
Yeah.
hello,
Well, thank you for
hello,
having
New
us.
Jersey.
Woo.
It's been a blessing. Thank you.
All right, Glenn.
I love the New Jersey. I live there, so I have a fondness for that Jersey Shore, especially.
I'll say hi to everybody we used to know, Glenn. How's that?
Thank you so much.
All right, Glenn, Nathan, David, thank you so much for.
Thank you, Danny. Thank you, guys. Have a great night.
Oh, hey, David, one more question. When are you coming back to Havana?
Sure.
Buddy? When are you coming to Havana again?
You know what? It's been a while. I'm hoping there's nothing booked, but I love Havana. So who knows? And I'll be sure to send you a text and an email right away if something happens soon, for sure.
That would be fantastic, sir. Thank you.
You
very
got
much.
it, Danny.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Thank
And
you.
Great.
rock on. There you go.
Very good.
David, who's sickening, Glenn Goss, and Nathan. I didn't get his last name. Nadine, was it? Nathan? All right. Gigi Nadine. And them guys are fantastic. Glenn is a great guy. We're going to do a tune of theirs. And see that? Art, I didn't even know that they were involved in the
that was
drug and
awesome.
alcohol rehabilitation.
That's awesome.
I know that Glenn almost died in May.
So we
Wow.
need to talk.
Yeah.
I
that's
didn't.
great.
I know Glenn had a massive heart attack,
Wow.
and it's ironic that you're here this evening.
Nothing's ironic.
Yes.
It's all planned.
Yes, yes.
all part,
Our
Loved
good
up.
buddy
it's
Rick
all
Whittle.
part of the plan.
Yeah, right?
Loved up.
This is their tune off of off of their new release. This is called Two Monkeys, and we'll be right back with Rick Wino here on Rock on Radio.
How you eat your broccoli?
Like the hands of a broken clock, your heart's playing dead. and you're begging God to set you free. Just throw those love beats, baby, into the light. You could call it a vision, travel like misery. You gotta be panoramic bird's eye view, but never knowing what to do. You don't know to love those things you hate about yourself. Somebody in a suit, what is reading other shoe? They're more than just having like you and me. When you're falling from a cliff, you gotta learn how to fly. It'd be a pity for you to say goodbye. It'd be a pity for waking with no destination, and you can't even say that you tried. It's a wild, wild wonderland. Come on, baby, hold my hand, close my eyes as we die. You get up, a cinematic front seat clue, but never knowing who killed who. You don't know to love those things you hate about yourself. Two monkeys in a suit, one is crazy, other stool. They swing a little bit like you and me. Two junkies sitting blue, not monkeys in a suit. They have a little more sympathy than you. My they're more than just a bit like, they swing a little bit like, we're always together when we're two.
Was that us? We're back. We're here just talking. Yes.
The length of
Ooh.
the length of time did not match how long it actually played.
It's probably going to come back in a second.
That's right.
No, it's off now.
No more will that be here. I want to thank my good buddy Glenn Goss. It's so good to hear from him again, man. Glenn and I, we had a blast playing for Zara Phillips, and it was always a lot of fun. We did gigs, we did videos. So thanks Zara for bringing him in. Glenn used to hang with us in the Asbury Park scene. We jammed at a few open mics, and Glenn's aces, good guy. It's first I spoke with Nathan, and of course it's first I spoke with David, who's sickening of the Hooters. I always wanted to know what that was like, man. Can you imagine that, Wino?
That must have been.
To step out and look at JFK Stadium was just
That was nuts.
massive. The link is there now, so
That had to be an unbelievable thing to be playing with all those people there. And I mean, not just the people, the artists,
well, you do that every week, right? 100,000 or better.
What are you talking about? My support payments, or 100,000 or better? Oh, my marriages.
Children, your children.
100,000 or better.
So have you had any kids since the last time you were here?
No, I took a break. The heart attack.
The heart attack did it?
Maybe that's what caused it.
You know,
Nah. Well, what a way to go, though. That's,
Someone told him, I'm pregnant.
Wow.
You know, it's
That's
all
so
about,
funny over
you know,
there.
thank you. Thank you,
I don't
Claire.
know.
Oh, she's going to
Throw me under the bus.
she,
It's
you
not
know,
bad.
she said to me the night before we started, Rick, you know, just behave. And I said, of course I
did.
will.
I didn't
And
say
now
I
she's
had to.
starting.
Oh no, I'm in
Now
trouble.
you're starting.
Oh,
The whole reason.
that's one.
The whole reason.
That's one.
The whole
Steel
reason
joke.
that you are
That's my
here
dad's
is
joke.
because you misbehaved at the Christmas party.
Yes,
So
I
we
did. And I
invited
was
you
invited back, which makes you very sick individuals, doesn't it?
Hey, I didn't extend the invitation.
Oh.
That was all him.
Your lips say no, but your eyes say yes.
Oh,
Yeah, see?
I'm not even looking at you. So
I got chocolate from you too, so
it was for the
It's a heart.
cardiac arrest tour.
I got
It
a
was 75% off.
I got a heart. So that's what I'm worth to you, 75% off?
I said it's after Valentine's Day. The cardiac arrest tour is on.
Yeah, 75% off.
75% off.
Well,
It's worth it.
okay.
You wanna
Still leaves me with 25%.
You want to?
That's right.
You want
That means I'm somebody. So you're me. So there is a chance. Remember that scene from Dumb and Dumber?
Yeah.
You want a Jack Furlong CD?
Sure.
Give him two. Give him two.
They'll be giving them out.
Nice.
Wow.
Good.
How
Actually-
quickly she gives things away don't tell
That
the
are-
people.
that are mine.
That aren't hers.
They were given to us.
Were they 75%
I'm the
off?
producer. Yeah, it's free. They're free.
Rick will be playing the next Rock on Radio Happy Hour.
It's a happy hour. It's a happy hour. It's now at the Nottingham.
At the Nottingham Tavern, March 7th,
Thursday.
from 7 to 9
Right.
p.m.
I will not
We
be
will
there.
have these Jack Furlong CDs as
Yes.
part of the
Right.
prizes. Well, that is sponsored by Foxmore Chiropractic, Asylum Choir Music,
Mhm.
and Angelic Touch Massage
Nice.
Therapy.
Woo-hoo!
I will be giving out discounted massages.
He's doing his steps.
And the actual winner of the grand prize will get a free 2-hour chair massage for them
Wow.
and their coworkers.
Your closest coworkers.
Yeah.
They better be nice to them.
Very nice.
Oh, so it's not going to be right at the knot. I thought they were bringing the chair there.
2 hours
At the
of
bar.
I was
massage.
like, I'm in.
Happy hour.
I actually
2
thought
hours.
about that. She said, well, massaging drunk people can get a little dicey legally.
That's
So-
why she needs to get there early. You don't want to be there at the end.
If you're just tuning in, this is Rock on Radio. I'm Danny Coleman. We have engineer Art. We have producer Claire, and our guest tonight is Rick Wino. 609-241-7103 if you want to give us a call. All right. So,
What do you want to know, Danny?
well, let's just start off with the obvious because all these people are hearing us discuss it. So your heart attacked you right after Christmas.
Yeah, I was, it's important to talk about this stuff, We'll get to the music, but, yeah.
Yeah.
The hell, I do this every night. Yeah. Hi, how are you? Try to veal. No, but, anyway. Anyway. Wagon wheel? No, I'm sorry. I'm having flashbacks. I know. Anyway. Oh. Yeah, I was at the mall in lovely Rockaway, New Jersey with my kids.
I know that.
Now, I should preface this with, in 2009, I had a heart issue and I had a triple bypass. So I sort of remembered some of the feelings. I never had a heart attack then, but I sort of remembered some of the feelings that I had, like in my body at the time, which caused me to like go to the ER and say something's not right, which everybody needs to remember that. So anyway, I'm at the mall in Rockaway and I start feeling this feeling. Now, everybody has this TV-based, movie-based idea of what a heart attack is. We've been used to seeing people throughout the years grab their chest and say, even was it Red Fox used to do on his show?
Right.
Elizabeth, I'm
Coming
coming.
home.
He's grabbing his chest. But the truth is, it's nothing like that. Basically, all I felt was sort of a vibration on the inside of my biceps. Ooh, Danny's getting excited. And
Turn away.
That's why I had to look away.
yes, yeah. Is it my green eyes? No.
Yes, it is.
But and then so I, that I play out of it every week. I do a couple gigs.
A bit.
Yeah.
So I usually carry speakers, and I have the QSCs, which are like 45 pounds each. And I figured, something is just not, maybe I'm just tired. But the other kicker was cold sweats. Now, if you get any type of discomfort in your chest area or anywhere, and you start breaking out in cold sweats, know that something's wrong. So basically, that happened with the kids. I called my ex-wife, who, by the way, now is an RN, and which there's a reason I'm saying that. And I said, come get the kids. I said, I'm going to drive to the hospital. Something's going on. I'm not sure that something's going on, but I'm going to go get it checked out because it reminded me what happened, way back when. And I was able to get the kids in her car when she pulled up. And when I walked up to the front of her car, my heart stopped and I hit the ground. And to top everything off, I wound up with a grade 2 concussion and a bunch of staples on my head, which were really
It
neat.
explains a lot.
Yeah, doesn't it? No, she's starting with me, Danny.
You look good,
Sorry.
I look good,
It does
yeah.
look good.
I look better than I did that day. 'Cause I was dead for about a minute. No, and before anybody asked, I didn't see anything. Thanks so much. I've had like 7 people ask me.
Go to the
that's not
light.
good.
And like when the eighth person asked me, I said, you know what? I saw my.
I didn't ask you.
I saw my grandmother, and they said, really? I said, no, I didn't see
I saw your grandmother.
anything. So your grandmother,
Mama.
She said she remembers when you stole that pie from
Oh,
the
man,
windowsill.
Yes. It's all coming.
You're here, you're gone.
Yeah. So then I hit the ground basically at the front of the mall. Head was bleeding like a pig, and my ex-wife got out, started CPR.
And
A
saved your
female
life.
doctor was driving by who saw what happened. She pulled over and started helping her. They got an AED from the mall and they shocked me once. And I wound up in one hospital and then I was transferred to Morristown Memorial and they fixed me up a little bit and for good. They rotor-rooted my arteries and now I'm back to doing what I do, whatever that is, I don't know.
Running around too much.
But
Didn't even look at him.
the message I want to get out there is if you feel something, we all have aches that are muscle aches and everything. If you feel something unusual, go get it checked out, especially if you're, at any age really, but if you're in your 40s and 50s, go get it checked out because I was ready to drive myself to the hospital on Route 80. Okay.
That's crazy, yeah.
Can you imagine if
Yeah.
if my heart was still going, and decided to kick out on Route 80? Not only would I've injured myself, of course, but I would have felt so bad that it would possibly hit somebody
hurt
else.
somebody else.
Now,
So,
I literally did just take a CPR class, and one of the things to tag on your serious note is that females, and similarly to you, that you had an unusual reaction, not the
Right.
clutching of the chest,
right.
but females actually have there are more females dying of heart attacks than all the cancers together because their symptoms, female symptoms, are high anxiety, extreme tiredness. That sounds like a regular day in a female life.
Add bitchiness into something that you
And,
can't tell.
And indigestion and nausea. So they're totally different. No, stop. You went there before I was finished being serious. But no, seriously.
So obviously, after
So you had more female symptoms than
Right.
male symptoms.
experimenting with my other side. So obviously, let's see, nausea, bitchiness.
I did not say
anxiety.
bitches. You added that.
There, we better get you to the hospital right away. Danny, call 911, Danny.
He's gonna get hurt. He better.
What are you gonna do?
I have a
What are you gonna do,
staple
stop
gun in
my
the car.
heart?
So,
You're gonna
Staple
stop my
gun for
heart?
those.
so how has this affected? Your music. Because that's your bread and butter.
Actually, the funny thing is, the first time I played, I was in the hospital, I guess, about, let's see, my math, 1, 2, 3, 7 days, okay? The first show that I was scheduled to do was Light of Day in Montclair on January 11th.
Oh yeah.
So, with Willie Nile, Daniela Cotton, well,
Oh, Danielle,
Like,
she
can sing, that girl. And a few other people, and Laura Chrissy was there.
Oh, yeah?
And yep. And first of all, I want to just, when I walked in, into the green room, as in Montclair. Everybody just was. The wishes were, "Oh my God, you okay?" I mean, Willie Nile was. I think I met Willie 3 times before that, and he was so nice to me. I mean, just saying, he goes, "Take it easy, man. I'm glad to see you're okay." But everybody was really nice. I mean, the funny part was that this is my first time playing, and I'm still balancing out the blood pressure meds, so I'm like sort of tired and dizzy at times. So I go to do my first song. We did a songwriter circle, and my head starts spinning, and I'm standing up. I'm like, going, "Not now, Lord. Not here with all these people." But like, long story short, did make it through that night, and then I said, "Okay, I got a week off," and then I got a call on following Wednesday from my friend Rob Dye, and he goes, "Are you available Saturday for 20 minutes at Wonder Bar?" I said, "Yeah, sure." So I went there, and same reaction. Everybody was, Christine Martucci, of course, right? And she also did it, and everybody was just so gracious, hugs and everything. Musical community really, it was tugging on my heartstrings. The way everybody
But you needed that. Whether you thought of it or knew it, you needed that. At that
What, the heart attack?
Wake up call.
It was a wake up
that
call.
You needed to know that those people were in your corner.
Yeah, it was
You
a
know.
nice feeling. In this business, I guess I've been doing it since I started playing in clubs in 16, because the drinking age was 18 there.
Did they have electricity back then?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Rock on.
I'm picking on you instead of Danny.
Right. That's okay. All right, but anyway.
Sorry,
Yeah.
carry on.
Yeah, we needed that. What were you saying, Danny, before we were interrupted by this person having cardiac
The
symptoms?
producer.
Yeah. I don't know what she's producing right now.
Yes.
I'm laughing.
She's producing
Woohoo!
laughs out of herself. That's about
Yes,
That's it.
having a good time.
Yep. Thank you.
You don't want me to start, do you?
No, it's true. I don't.
I see him writing a song about you in about
Good.
3 minutes.
Yeah.
I've been told I'm
The
an
Stones.
inspiration for a lot of songs.
The Stones did already. It's called. Go through.
All right.
Keith Richards, what an inspiration.
That son of a bitch is still alive.
You're right.
We should probably start to worry about what kind of world we're going to leave him when we all pass away. If you're just tuning in, this is Rock on Radio. Our guest is Rick Wino.
It's Rick on radio.
It's Rick on Radio.
Rick on
That's
radio.
Right. That's right. Rick Shaw.
The thing you were asking me, I didn't say, actually, what started happening is, I used to, through the 80s, I did a lot of writing, and I found a book in a closet, and with 96 songs in it, and I'm like, oh, I don't remember writing this. But the interesting thing that happened since the heart attack, I'm like working on 4 or 5 songs right now. 2 are on keyboards and 3 are on guitars, and I'm like, something happened. Like, it's like getting struck by lightning, and all of a sudden you play the piano, and then all of a sudden the writing came back, because I think it made me look at my life again, like thinking about things. We let stuff get to us, especially if you've been divorced 16 times like I have. But you let stuff go, and everything is so insignificant, really. I recently had a father-daughter dance, I was explaining before, and it was one of my 8 and 10-year-old daughters, and I danced to Perfect with my 8-year-old daughter, and we were dancing slow, and she was holding me around my waist like she was squeezing, and I'm like, first I'm saying, what is this about? Then I realized what it was about. It's because she almost lost me, and then song was over, and she looks at me and she said, "Daddy, I love you." I mean, and then I said, "Oh, I love you too," and it was one of those moments, and I'm so thankful to God, for keeping me here to experience that, and no matter what happens in this crazy world, to have that feeling, I mean, we've all been through divorce. Some of us are, going through it currently, but it's a painful thing, but you survive. And I was happy. My son, one of my sons, my next oldest son, called me last Sunday, and he and his wife are having their first child. It's going to be a girl, and she's going to be born in October, which is my birthday month. So that's kind of cool.
Well,
Nice.
you better be around to see it.
Oh, I better be.
Yeah.
I will be. I've got a great, great medical team. And the other thing everybody should know is, like, after my heart condition in 2009, I took the irresponsible and dumb road of, I really don't need to take these meds, and I stopped taking them, everything. So then I wound up with a couple
Don't do that.
clogs.
I haven't been that brave.
I got disgusted.
Doesn't sound very brave.
Sounds
a
I
little
went
dumb.
from feeling I'm fine, or like I went from getting home from the surgery in 2009 and checking everything I was eating, looking at can labels, to, you know what, I'm fine, just gonna go on. And mistake. So take your meds.
Read the labels.
Read the labels. And be careful. And be careful out there.
Mhm.
I did the same thing. I ended up with a heart attack.
Yeah.
Just
that's all.
one.
Yeah.
Just one. That's all it takes.
I haven't had
Oh,
16.
jeez.
But, why don't we do some music? Show us what.
Oh,
you
I
can,
do. I still do that.
You do that.
Where am I? No.
Oh my.
We're in trouble.
You're just tuning in. This is Rock On Radio, 609-241-7103. If you want to give us a call, we'll give you something just for calling in. I've got all kinds of new merch coming.
Woo-woo.
We've got t-shirts, tank tops, new editions of the coffee mugs, new
Nice.
pens, caps. We have hats.
Mhm.
A hard guitar pick.
We have.
I
He
took
has.
pictures of that. That's so cool.
Oh yeah, there they are
Yeah.
on Facebook.
Jack Furlong CD.
Jack Furlong CDs.
Or
Jack's
two.
the man.
Mhm.
All right, what are you gonna do for us?
All right. I'm actually gonna revive an old song that I recorded way back. It was actually I recorded it solo. I walked into the studio one morning, exhausted from the night before playing, and I laid it down. And I think it's on YouTube. It's on YouTube. Yeah. It's called "Slide On Over." It's about all the pub gigs and being there late at night, and you see a girl at the end of the bar. And I'm not going to go there, but you'll hear it from the words.
There
So
you
here we go.
Rick Wino, Rock On Radio.
Oh. It's early in the morning, can't seem to stay asleep. So it's been raining from the memories I seem to keep. The times they were changing, my heart continues to beat. I can see you through the red lights by a neon sign of blue. As you kiss that drink, you're smiling. Honey, is that smile a part of you? Can you taste it in the music? Girl, what's there inside of you? Won't you slide on over? Won't you slide on down? Won't you slide on over? Won't you slide on down? Slide on down. Slide on down. Slide on down. Dancing in the moonlight with a glass of wine or two. Fly beyond the clouds, baby. Tell me, can you feel it too? There's nothing left to wonder, but there's so much left to do. Won't you slide on over? Won't you slide on down? Won't you slide on over? Won't you slide on down? Slide on down. Slide on down. Slide on down. Slide on down.
Rick Wino here on Rock On Radio. Nice, man. It's the first new music I heard from you in a bit.
Oh yeah,
Even though it's
there's
old music.
more coming. Well, it's like it was
That's awesome.
it was something I did a while back, and haven't been playing it much. You know,
What made you revisit it? Just overall.
just the one I
thought
went over the
process?
book, and I'd recorded it, and I realized I don't play it out a lot, and I mean, we mostly do cover gigs, so it's you know, just something I felt I wanted to do again. And even revisited. Maybe I'll do the song later. I had written a song for my son who's just told me he's having a baby. When I was going through that divorce, and it was rather when you have young kids. I forgot how old he was when it all happened. Maybe 3 or 4. It's painful to leave and you miss them and everything. I mean, like I miss my younger kids, my younger children. I miss my older kids too. But I know the thing is, when your kids get older, you mostly worry about them when you're younger, about them being secure. But there's a lot of emotional support you have to give them at a young age. And when they get older, you're proud of the fact that they've been successful, and they're on their own.
So-
It's a big pride fact.
Well, tell me something.
Yeah.
Okay, because I'm still kind of waiting for it to materialize, the proverbial long run. 2003, my children were at Christmas. My children were 11
Okay.
and 8. That is the last time that I woke up with them on a Christmas morning.
Yeah, it's funny
2003.
you say that. That's probably one of the most. That's a rough one.
I have not had a Christmas tree that I could call my own
All right.
since then. And, everybody says, oh, don't worry about it. In the long run, they'll see, they'll know, they'll understand.
They will.
And now they're 26 and 23, and I'm still waiting. So, it's the proverbial long run, as they speak. As they get older, I guess, for me, I've fully resigned myself to the fact that my children are going to have a relationship of length and experience heartache before they fully understand what their father went through. But until then, the thing is that you really have to, and especially with a guy like you who has cheated death pretty much twice now.
Yeah.
You have to live every day as if the person that you've just left, you're never going to see again.
Yeah, I learned that.
Yes, you have to. My daughter actually on Valentine's Day, I texted her. I was like, "Happy Valentine's Day," and she texted me back surprisingly quick. Happy Valentine's Day to my first ever Valentine.
That's a beautiful thing, isn't it?
And it
That's
was
a moment.
yeah, and especially since they're older now, you kind of think they're past that.
Well, the thing is,
They'll never be past that.
the thing is, maybe I can't give advice, but things just sort of flowed and happened. And when I first got married, I was 18. My wife was 19, and we had a baby right away. No need to go into any details, but um, it was rough going from being a dad, from being like
Being a
somebody who
kid.
went being a kid
Yeah.
to being a dad. And I did what I had to do, and there were some things that happened, and because of my immaturity, maybe there's some things they didn't understand that I did. There's some things maybe that I don't understand I did, but actually, the marriage was ended at the choice of their mom, who became friends with somebody else. But we won't. That didn't happen to be my best friend.
I've been
But
there.
okay, so I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna
Yes.
drag that stuff on the air. But and there were lies that were said about me, and that were actually the gentleman was, my best friend at the time, and they got involved. And for years, she had told, she had told the kids that, oh, Daddy doesn't know him, which was like a total, And then she tried to push me out of her lives, which she did successfully for a little bit, because everything got painful. But and the best part was that after 5 years, he left her for somebody else, which was kind of karma.
Karmic.
Karma will get you.
And what's funny is all these things that seem so horrible at the time that we are going through them. Anybody and everybody who's it's a pretty serious rock on radio we got on here tonight.
Yeah, we're not. It's not lighthearted. It's totally different than a Christmas show, but we'll get there.
Right.
We've got time.
All these things that we go through always seem like any problems or any issues that pop up always seem like they are the worst things to us. And anybody who listens to this program regularly knows that I didn't realize I had hit rock bottom and that I had a basement at one point in my life.
Yeah.
And, and I remember thinking to myself, and the only thing that kept me from having a pity party and feeling sorry for myself is that I realized that there are other people out there who actually have it worse. Either they've lost a child, or they had cancer, or they had lost family members, or there was some debilitating disease they were dealing with. All I was dealing with was faced with potential homelessness and 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 a financial situation. Both things. I had my health, sort of, but I was able to recover. And so, no matter how bad that you may think it is of what you're going through, it's like your job. People complain about their job. Oh, I can't believe it. But you know what?
It all works
Go
out.
without it.
It all works out in the end.
Yeah,
Then you'll
it's all
realize
better.
how much you want that job back. If you're just tuning in, this is Freud on radio this evening. No,
As long as
They
that's
got your
fraud on
tissues.
radio.
fraud on radio. That's much better. Yeah, rock on radio.
Any-
That's
Freud fraud.
Anybody that's standing on the roof right now, consider jumping. We apologize.
Call 911.
Yeah.
Jump.
Oh, you're a big help.
Wow.
Turn
Oh,
off his mic. Oh, wait,
Our-
he's got the control.
my girlfirlend Tracy's listening tonight. She
Oh,
said she wants a
nice.
tank top.
She wants to, okay.
There you
all
go.
right.
See, the first
First
order.
one. That's it.
609-241-7103 if you want to give us a call. Why don't we do? Go ahead. What do you want to play now?
All right, let me do a happy song about the Jersey Shore when you're 16 years old.
Well,
60 or 16?
16.
Oh, okay.
Well, you know what? At 63, I'm feeling, especially with the ladies, I hope you're listening. Especially with the stents. I'm feeling very revived at 63 and
The implant.
When I'm 64.
implant. Only thing that's implanted here, Danny Coleman, is stents. Okay.
That's what they're calling them these days.
Ah.
Wow.
The next
Wow.
step's heart transplant.
Well, you know what? By the time, I was joking actually with the cardiologist. I'm sure you can get it. I said, another.
She hasn't heard them all.
Yeah, but I said in another couple of years you're going to be able to go on Amazon and get a custom heart, with your initials. And I got a great idea. She goes, "Well, that sounds good." I said, "But think about this. Remember Iron Man?
Yeah.
All right, the thing that he had in his chest that lit up. Imagine if you get a heart implant, an actual mechanical heart that lights up through your chest, like with your initials, or plays your music, or is like has a Bluetooth and plays music out of your chest. Think about it.
That little light, that little
E.T.
heart light can
Turn on your
change
heart
tracks.
Yeah, yeah.
Sounds like a child's toy when you push the button.
Or like if you're with a lady, you can put on like Luther Vandross.
What if she hits the wrong button?
Ooh.
You'd be doing bang your head.
This wasn't a family program.
Oh, it's just very much a family program.
Family planning program.
Yeah.
Oh, stop.
In order to be a happy sexual life.
Thank you, Dr. Ruth.
Okay. Time to put the kids to bed. No.
You must take a cucumber. And make a
Why do
salad.
I feel
Make a salad.
Grab the vinegar.
If you find yourself frustrated in the vegetable aisle, perhaps you need some therapy.
Oh, God.
What are you going to play for us again?
Now
So
you know how to
little
get
ditty.
her to stop.
Yeah, right.
I saw my pharmacist.
Yeah, here we
She
go.
said hello to me. She handed me some Berlinta. And I was in love with her. That's enough. I'm going to play a song that's called Lady. I was sitting last night out on the boardwalk in my t-shirt and jeans, just watching the girls walk. And as she walked on down, couldn't help but notice what the girl was doing to me. Lady, girl, I think I love you. Baby, and a woman above you. You're making me crazy. Oh, you're making my legs shake. Cause you're here and you're looking so fine. Tonight. As she walked on down, couldn't believe what I was seeing. As she said, honey, let's party. Lord, I thought I was cheating. But as she kissed me slowly, couldn't help but notice what the girl was doing to me. Lady, girl, I think I love you. Baby, and a woman above you. You're making me crazy. Oh, you're making my legs shake. Cause you're here, you're looking so fine. Tonight, lady, girl, I think I love you. Baby, never wanna above you. You're making me crazy. Oh, you're making my legs shake. Cause you're here, you're looking so fine. Out tonight.
Rick Wino here on Rock On Radio.
Rock on.
Rock on.
Why y'all looking at me?
We're waiting for
That's
some
Rick
kind of
on, Rick on,
waiting for some kind of sound.
Rick on night.
Rick on.
So you actually, we were talking a little bit before we went on air, but our buddy Stoner Dave McMahon,
Yeah.
just replayed the evening on 40 Foot Hole Studios when we were broadcasting your buddy Pat Denizio live
Yes.
on 40 Foot Hole Studios, live from the Langosta Lounge.
Right.
And you opened up for him that evening, and you were gracious enough to ask me to be part of that.
Yeah, we had ball. I think we have pictures somewhere.
We did. We did. There's incriminating
Still have
evidence.
pictures.
But I think, I don't know if it was just the magic of the evening or the excitement, but I think that was actually one of your better performances that evening.
Oh,
And
great.
what that did was, because you were doing all your own originals, which
Yeah,
was really
yeah.
cool. And, it was being broadcast literally all over the globe. And I know we had listeners in Florida that evening, and we had listeners from all over the United States. But what that evening did was it opened up the door 100% complete for you to become Pat Denizio of the Smithereens, his right hand man,
Yeah.
for what, 4 years
Yep.
before he passed away last year.
Yep. We had we had a couple of guys. We had of course Sam Fairley was with playing guitar with Pat, and another gentleman before that, and we had a bunch of guys. We had John Hone there too. We still have Bruce Pike. We all sat in with Pat for over the course of years. All people who knew Pat longer than I did, but it opened up a door to allow me to get a taste of what it's like on the other side, as I say, from being a pub player to
playing the Iridium.
and playing at the Iridium, which was a wild night. I mean, that's a lifetime memory. To walk in a place where, with my guitar, where I used to go see Les Paul on Monday nights, and I'll never forget. Pat had a way with him. We all know a way about him, but I'll never forget the phone call. You available? Hey, you available? Because Pat, I can't do Pat's voice, and nobody can actually. But you available Monday or something? Yeah. What do you got? I got a gig. I'm like, okay. I said, where are we playing? He goes, the Iridium. And I'm like, what? I'm like, what? And he goes, Iridium in New York. I'm like, I said, the Iridium? He goes, yeah, why? You don't want to play? I was like, no, I want to play. I want to play. And the magic, you walk into that place and you realize you're playing there, and who's played there.
Yeah.
And so it was funny because as we're having dinner, they give you there's a musician's menu and there's fruit in the back. And so we're sitting there having dinner, and in walks Paul Stanley. In walks you would remember, I can't think of the drummer from Wings.
Who, Steve Holly?
No, Steve Holly. No, was it Steve Holly? No. and a few other people.
Danny Coleman.
No, yeah, Danny. Danny
Yeah.
played with Paul McCartney. That's good. We love Paul. We love Danny.
I couldn't handle him.
But yeah, but a few other the guitarists from the Tonight Show, you know, or David Letterman show. She's really freaking great. I mean, and May Pang was there.
Oh, no kid.
May Pang was there. John Lennon's. Everybody knows this. If everybody
Right.
doesn't know the story, that was John Lennon and Yoko's secretary, who Yoko blessed for them to go to California and have a relationship for a while. And Mark Hudson was hosting the night, and it was a Beatles night. So one of the songs we were doing was "Dear Prudence," which we did quite a bit with Pat.
Yeah, that was one of his favorites.
One of his favorites. And so somebody took actually a picture, and it was May Pang holding up her cell phone, doing a video of us doing "Dear Prudence," and you could see in the video, it's on stage. So it was just a surreal moment. I mean, she's, I reached out to her on Facebook. I said, "Hi, this is Rick, the guitarist. Well, I can think this is weird, but it was a pleasure. I got to meet her. It was a pleasure to meet you." I said, "I hope we did justice to Dear Prudence, and justice to John's writings." And she answered me. She goes, "John would have loved it." So now, you got to understand that I play pubs and everything, and now I've just connected. That person removed who knew John Lennon, who was with John Lennon, saying that John would have loved the way we did Dear Prudence. I mean, those are special moments. I mean, and the thing is, even without those moments, working with Pat, he's such a generous and wonderful guy. What a writer, You listen. I mean, you ever want to get a good idea what writing is about? Listen to the Smithereens Green Thoughts album. I mean, it takes you different places, different flavors, the changes, in writing his choruses, his melodies. And it was funny. I got, speak to his mom a lot, the time that, he used to come over there, and everything I heard about her is true. And I hope she's doing well. And, she once told me the story. She goes, he used to come down to the kitchen, and he used to start humming a melody. And she goes, and she would be in the kitchen smoking like a chimney. But she goes, and he would make the melody. And goes, all right, that's melody, and he would write a song right there in like seconds. And and as Pat got a little ill and more bedridden, I had so many special moments sitting. Next to him at his bedside, and we used to watch old movies, and he would tell me the stories of the '80s and his experiences somewhere, which were wild, but just learning about the music, he opened up a whole world to me that that I dreamed I would have been a part of, and I still, we all still have dreams as musicians to be a part of that in a significant part, in a significant way. It was almost like every time I played with him. It was like I was there, for that brief moment. Even at Crossroads and Garwood, even Langosta, uh, a totally different world. I remember when the first times we're playing in Crossroads. Now Sam had been playing with him for years, and I'm sitting there, and Pat used to sell merch like everybody else does, right? So we come off the stage, and so he's selling merch to people, and one of the people in the audience bought a CD, right? Which he autographed. So the woman comes over to me and she goes, "Would you sign this?" And I'm like, "Oh," I said, "I'm not on the CD." I said, "It's Smithereens CD." I said, "I'm just doing this with Pat." And I look over, and Pat's looks at me, and like in the old Italian tradition face, nods his head like, "Sign it," And I did, and I was like, "Wow." Yeah. And the 60th birthday bash, which the Hooters played in, actually. I met, so many people. It was Suzanne Vega was there, Marshall Crenshaw, Southside Johnny, the Hooters, of course, the Smithereens, of course. Garland Jeffries. It was like an unreal thing. So of course they were raffling off guitars, which Fender gave Pat 10 guitars um, to raffle off, and they were uh, also raffling off drum heads. Okay. So here I am sitting, I'm sitting downstairs, and wonderful young lady, Cindy Sivak, who's now Jim Bab Jack's girlfriend. She walks over, she was running it, and she goes, "Rick, you got to sign the guitars and the drum heads." I'm like, again, I'm saying like, no, I'm not, Cindy. I'm just, that's good. She goes, so Cindy ran things very well. You could see why she worked for MTV and Sirius and all that. And she simply lifts the list. She goes, "Is this your name?"
Yeah.
I said, "Yeah." She goes, "Go and sign it." She goes, "Just do it." I'm like, okay. I mean, so I'm sitting there and I'm signing this, and Suzanne Vegas to the right of me, Marshall Crenshaw's to the left of me. I'm like, what am I freaking doing here? How did this happen? But it's that, I imagine that's how things happen.
Well, it's funny because you and I have both often talked about that moment, because I had that same moment.
Nuts.
When I did that candlelight concert for epilepsy.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
there with Corey Glover on my left, and Gary U.S. Bonds on my right, and they came in and like, all right, everybody needs to sign a poster, and I turned around and walked away. I'm thinking, I'm just a percussion guy, and the woman's like, "Where are you going?" And I'm not. No, you're part of this. Sign it. You don't feel
it's
like
weird.
you belong.
Yeah, I don't. I didn't. I never.
Whoa. Yeah.
I did have. The funny part was I did have a moment one night where I was. You just, as a musician and as a writer and person, anybody connected to the arts, we have these moments of doubts and, confidence and all this other stuff. And you just feel like you're like, all right.
Yeah, like every day.
Well, no. Yeah. So, I mean, we had just done a show and, with Pat, and it was Crossroads, and it was sounded good, but, I'm so critical I'm always critical of the way I sound, and I'm like, I'm one of those people that you can have 99.9% good, and that little percentage that's
That
left over, 0.1%, will
yeah.
piss me off to no end, and I'll be like, And one night I'm sitting at the kitchen table, and Pat at that time, he still had use of his arm, so he was smoking at the time. So he's sitting there flicking a cigarette. If you were around Pat, so you know that his serious look. He goes, "What's the matter with you?" I'm like, I'm not, this was a off night. I just visited. He goes, I'm like, "I don't think I did that well." He goes, "Just having confidence issues?" I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "That means, that means you're rough on yourself." And then I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Let me ask you a question." Yeah, as he's flicking his cigarette.
I've seen that look before.
Right. He goes, "Let me ask you." It's like the smoke is rolling around his face, and I'm like, "Okay, yes. You think I'm any good?" I'm like, "Yeah." I said, "I think you're great." He goes, "Okay." He goes, "You think I would have," like I say, he goes, "You think I'd have anybody playing with me that wasn't able, that I didn't think was any good?" He goes, "Well, all my success, I'm like, "No." He goes, "Well, then cut this shit." He goes, "Stop it." He goes, "You're here because I want you here." And I'm like,
Yeah, good point.
okay. I mean, so, but there's so many. I mean, when I, remember that song, "Take That Chance" with the sax. That I don't know if you still have a recording of it. When I played it for him one night, and he, I'm sitting there, and he goes, "Man," he goes, "Your voice is radio quality," and I'm like, holy mackerel, what a compliment from somebody who's up there. I mean, uh, just to hear stuff like that. I mean, people always compliment you, when you're in the course of hopefully, in the course of the time that you're doing music, or else you wouldn't be doing it too long. But no matter what anybody says, everybody likes compliments because it sort of keeps you driving.
Sure.
I mean, last night I played Brass Rail Mattawan, and I'm packing up, and it's two women are coming back from having a cigarette outside. you know, said, we just want to tell you that you sounded great and we loved all your song selections. And, you know, I mean, that sort of makes your night. I mean, the money helps too, but, you know, it's like,
To know people appreciate.
you know,
what
people
you do.
appreciate you because, you know, doing gigs and having done gigs, you know, some nights you're like sitting there. And if you've seen me play, you know, I give it 100% or more. You know, I'm very, very emotional, very energetic with everything I'm doing. You're getting 100% every time. And sometimes you'll finish a song, you say, wow, you know, like last night I did Thunder Road, right? Which everybody, you know,
Which you do
likes.
a great version.
Right.
Yeah.
And I finished playing and crickets. And I'm like, okay, well, everybody's everybody's drinking, having a good time. So, but, the truth is, sometimes people applaud, sometimes they don't, and sometimes at the end of the night they'll come up and say something, and sometimes they won't. But you know what? I always said that if you know, at this age, you know, in my 60s, um, if anybody that's still doing it at this point, they're doing it because they love it, and that's why I started doing it, and that's why I still do it. You know.
If you're
So.
just tuning in, this is Rock On Radio. Our guest tonight is Rick Wino. Rick has come back once again. He didn't learn his lesson the first 7
He's
or
a
8
glutton for
times.
punishment.
No,
I love punishment.
he
Apparently.
Rick is actually somebody I'm also very happy to call a friend of mine, and I am honored that you've supported this program and everything over the 10 years that it's been around, and I can't thank you enough.
Yeah, I apologize for not being able to make the Asbury Hotel.
That's okay.
I know they'll never be invited back, will they?
No, matter of fact, after tonight,
Why does Claire keep telling me make sure you eat all the chocolate in the box?
yeah, because after tonight you're pretty much done.
But you know, if you know me, I'm big with commitments that I make to people, and I do have a commitment that night. And you know, there's a lot of guys in this business. Like if you play a venue, like if they get a call from somewhere else that's more important or more money or anything, they'll cancel the other venue.
They're not professionals,
right? So I don't. I try to. I'm a person of my own. You know, my word. I honor my word. You know, so especially in a situation where there's a private party and they're asking if they're so happy I was playing. So I'm like, okay, well,
That's fantastic.
you know,
You know what? I wouldn't expect you to.
yeah, it just
You know.
it wouldn't be right.
But 609-241-7103. If you want to reach out to us tonight, want to do another tune?
Sure.
What do you want to do?
Let's see.
One of your own?
Yeah, I'm gonna do.
Springsteen? What
No,
do you want?
I'm gonna do my own.
I like that.
I'm gonna try to remember the song that I wrote for my son. If I mess it up, just delete. Get it?
Delete. Control Alt Delete.
All right. Actually, this is a song I wrote for my son Joey. You know, because every time I used to leave him, you know, during the early part of divorce, it used to break my heart. So I wrote this song for him. It's a little ditty and it's not long, but here it goes. Taking the time to realize what you mean to me. Going through time, some things will change. That won't change for me. Holding you close when I must leave. Hoping you know and you believe. Some way, somehow, we're closer now. And I miss you so. It breaks my heart each time I go. Learning so much from what we do in the world you see. Taking me places I forgot. Make things clear to me. And as we pass from year to year, know that I always will be here. some way, somehow, we're closer now. And I miss you so. It breaks my heart each time I go. Some way, somehow, we're closer now. And I miss you so. It breaks my heart each time I go. And that's it.
Rick Wino here on Rock on Radio. You know, there's actually a fellow who's a pretty good song. He's a darn good songwriter by the name of Joe Silva. He's from New England. And probably about 4 or 5 years ago now, it was a Christmas Eve, and I was sitting home, and he wrote this long Facebook status about what it was like the day he left his house and left his wife and kids behind because it was time for him to move out. And it as I'm reading this, I could feel myself filling up with like fighting back tears because he described exactly everything that happened to me and every emotion that I ran. That ran the course of events that day, from anger to sadness to wondering to questioning myself to there was a lot of things that run through when you do that. And I reached out to the guy. Long short, I was by myself. I was totally alone. It was Christmas Eve. At the time I was living in my sister's basement apartment, and I was lucky to be there because she took me in, and her and my nephews and my brother-in-law, they were out visiting their families on Christmas Eve, and my parents lived in Myrtle Beach, so I wasn't visiting them. But I remember reading this, and I just totally lost it.
Yeah, but that's a good thing to happen. Sometimes things touch you, and they need to bring out the tears sometimes. So.
Tears. I sobbed like uncontrollably just reading this guy, and I'm thinking to myself, he's 100% right. It's everything that you think about. So a tune like that, I can totally relate to, man. Yeah. When especially if your spouse doesn't cooperate. As you
his mom was actually pretty good. I mean, she was very good, but there's still those feelings.
Yes,
it's that moment where the visit's over and it's like,
it's how come I can't go home with you?
And it's
Yep. But you fight through it. You get through it. People change as they get older. Things change. Situations change. And I thought to myself, again, like we talked about earlier, you can turn around and say, I'm angry and I'm bitter for having to do what, take this kid back. I have every right to be there. But on the other hand, you can also look at it like the time we spent together was precious.
Yeah, one of the songs I'm working on actually on piano, it's like it's been sitting. It's one of those unfinished songs that you sort of have. And I've never gotten to finish it. The words, that was a big problem. It's called, it's for my kids. It's called "Daddies Never Go Away," and it's gonna be one of those songs. And when it's finished, it's gonna be a tearjerker, because it's about basically, when your kids are young, especially with kids, when you're divorced or not, you're still the parent, and hoping that you have all the answers that from Daddy, why is the sky blue? But as they get older, and the other questions get a little more, and it's basically hoping that you always have the answer for them. And the song actually toward the end reflects, which is kind of especially with what happened, which it was started before, my heart attack. Uh, Basically ends up, even when I'm not here anymore, I just look up, and because daddies never go away, and so the reason I've had trouble writing it is because I get emotional, you know,
Yeah.
and I'm like, I can't do this one, but I've actually made arrangements to go in a studio to record it.
Oh yeah, where are you gonna record?
Actually, through crazy circumstances, years ago, a gentleman opened up a small recording studio and music school in Montclair on Grove Street. His name is Jared Zalia, and he subsequently moved to a bigger location in Caldwell called Modern Music Academy. Well, my relationship started with him by driving by one saying, small recording studio, music lessons. I'm like, okay, well, I needed a CD for my press kit when I started doing this acoustic like 4 years ago. It's 4 or 5 years ago. Started doing acoustic solo. Because, before that, it was like you walk in a place, shake hands. Yeah, hi, I'm a musician. I want to try, I'd like to play here. Used to be, all right, come in here Thursday. So my first questions I was being asked, where's your press kit? Press kit, CD. I'm like, what? I'm like, all right, it's changed a little bit because I never used to handle that end of stuff. So I needed one, so I walked in, and he had just started putting together a smaller place. Now he's in a bigger place, and I'm seeing he starts putting pictures up, and his wife is there, and I see a picture of his wife with James Taylor. Okay. Then I start seeing other pictures with other artists, him with other. I'm like, what's going on here? So we had done. I still didn't know, what he had accomplished in his lifetime. So we had done the CD, and we're talking one day. He goes, "Yeah," and I'm like, and he was like one of these people, and he's a recording engineer. I said, "This guy is like spot on with everything he does." Well, and then I think I was reading on the internet, and he goes, Grammy-winning, engineer Jared Julie. I'm like, what? So I went and I confronted him. Like I confront him like, I'm like, is there something? I said, you got a Grammy? He goes, yeah. I'm like, okay. He goes, well, I got two. I'm like, okay.
One for each hand.
Yeah. So I said, all right. Well, so what is your? I said, really? I said, he goes, yeah. He goes, one was for a movie score. I said, okay. He goes, and the other one was a big hit. I'm like, really? I said, which song? He goes, Dance with My Father Again, Luther Vandross. And I'm like, oh. And being a drummer, he's a drummer, but he plays other instruments. Do you know how he got that? He was working in a studio in California, right? He was setting up Luther Vandross' session. He was setting up the drums for a recording session. He spent 10 hours setting up the mics for the recording session. The other engineer that was, getting ready to do the things, he was like, at that time, Jarrett, I guess he hadn't, well, he might have, I don't know. I don't know the whole history, but he just had me setting up for that. I don't know what he had accomplished up to that point. So the engineer, Luther Vandross, walks in. He goes, you see that guy? He goes, yeah. He goes, he just spent 10 hours setting up the drums for your session. So Luther Vandross says, really? Yeah. He goes, I want him on the board. He goes, because anybody that takes 10 hours setting up drums for a recording session like that, he goes, I want him in here recording. He goes, I want him on a board, and he wound up getting a Grammy.
It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. He said next thing he knew, he was sitting in the Grammys, sitting next to Journey, and But what a nice guy. He's done a lot for me, and he actually recorded my kids, and those
Oh, is he the
recordings.
one that did those?
He's the one that did
Yes,
that,
yes.
and we just recorded a version of Luca for my daughter Julie did, and
Did you
she
ship
did
it to
such,
Suzanne?
huh?
Did you
I
ship
sent it to her. I sent it to her. Yeah. I mean, we've been over that story where, I barely knew Suzanne Vega. I'll go through it quick. And I contacted her because it was my daughter's birthday. And I said, can you send her an autograph picture? And I think I talked to Suzanne Vega at that time and her husband maybe 40 minutes at Pat's 60th party at the most. And she goes, sure. She goes, let me, give me your daughter's address. And, yeah, I'll take care of it. So next thing I know, my daughter calls me. She says, Daddy, I received a package from Suzanne Vega. I said, honey, you like the picture? She goes, I like everything. Well, Suzanne Vega took the time out to autograph every CD that she ever did, a book of lyrics that she did, another collection, everything hand signed with a Sharpie. Happy birthday, sweetie, Suzanne Vega, many more. I mean, what kind of people do that? Well, those were some of the people that like Pat associated with in the 80s, if
She lived downstairs from him, right?
Well, there's all kinds of. They worked in the same office, and she
Right.
actually fired Pat.
No, no.
I remember him saying
She had to,
that.
she actually fired him. But Pat was, before the Smithereens hit, he was having a hard times, and he was basically at times living
Right.
like staying over people's homes in the city. And she had already hit. She hit before he did. I can get the story, remember correctly. And so she had to go, I think, to Europe, and she said, "Come stay at my place." She goes, "There's food in the refrigerator," and they were all like that, though. I mean, you know, uh, nice people. The whole circle. We got another guy, Mark Johnson, who is a writer. A good friend of Pat's. He's been around. He's doing some shows with Billy now too. And
Oh yeah.
yeah. So and we got something in the works. I shouldn't say it, but because not 100%. But I may be opening for Willie Nile June 22nd at my father's place in Rosslyn, New York.
Oh,
We're
there you
trying
go.
to. We don't know if it's going to happen. There's some.
Well, you know
Yeah.
what? The way I see it, we might have an in there because Johnny Paisano,
Yeah.
Willie Niles' bass player, was supposed to come on this program back in September,
Yeah.
and Willie pulled the date out of nowhere, so he had to cancel.
Yeah.
And then he rescheduled for October, and
Yeah.
then they had a show in New York City.
He's on a
that
full
night.
schedule, Willie. I mean, he's
So
traveling.
he had to cancel.
A nice guy. Let me tell you, I just want to.
He's like, "Can you send me some dates?" I said, "Dude, I've sent you dates from
Nah, yeah.
January."
I tell you one thing. Talking about Willie, when we were doing a light of day in Montclair, right? Now you know that how important the audience and fans are to people, to artists. Okay, so I'm leaving. I'm in the back of the place. Willie was signing some CDs for people, right? And I like sort of maybe was 15 feet away from him. I'm like, didn't want to interrupt him. So I said, Willie, I'll see you. Nice calm goodbye. He actually said to the people, and he was signing CDs for, excuse me a second. He came over, gave me a hug, and he goes, I want you to take care of yourself. He goes, he goes, we'll see each other soon. I'm like, okay, great. I mean, this is,
Right.
it was so nice. I mean, I walked out, I'm walking out, I'm like, wow, this is, community really is, it's nice. We have some people that cause a lot of tension in the business too, but,
Oh,
a thing called ego, and, but,
gets in the way of everybody.
yeah, but, I've been fortunate, I mean, so at this age to be still doing this and to have whatever powers to be, and the good Lord put me together with Pat for years for 4 years, and yeah, I'm fortunate. I can't complain. I mean, I get a lot of gigs. I'll probably be cutting down a little bit this year.
When's that?
I don't know. Well,
Haven't seen it yet.
right now in front of me, I haven't. It's already this. This is what, February. So I've done. I won't say how many I've done, or else Claire will yell at me on my cut down schedule. But I have 91 gigs booked right in front of me right now. you know, for the rest of the year.
That is down for you because you're over 200.
Yeah, I've been doing
usually.
200. Yeah, you know, but
You're still young.
50%.
yeah,
Do
still be.
you,
You know,
do you want to do one more tune before
Sure.
we have to kind of wrap things up?
sure, absolutely.
What do you have for us, Mr.
Well, you know, this is a song that I made $1 million. No, not really. This is a love song, actually, which is kind of crazy, right?
Oh, that's
But a song a lot of people like, and it's a song called "Fallen." I actually wrote it one day. I was going through the supermarket, not by the vegetables. And I saw this elderly couple, and you know, you could see they had some history, and he was sort of holding up his wife, you know, as they were shopping, and you know, I started thinking, like, wow, you know, I mean, at this point in my life, I got to figure out, it's not going to happen for me. Yeah. There won't be any 50th golden anniversary, you know. But hey, if there's new medical technology, it could be.
Yeah,
But anyway,
120.
this is about
Celebrate your 50th year of divorce.
yeah. Well, if you add them up. But so I came up with this song, saying that I'm thinking it was about the loves that last a long time. It's called "Fallen."
Day after day, as time goes on, the seasons it change one by one. Your eyes stay with me through the years, like the sun. It's not just the things you say that make me want you more and more. It's not just the way you hold me when I come through the door. Yes, I'm just falling in love with you once more. Falling in love again with you. Some moments they made me cloudy, and some nights they may be cold. But lady, oh, that could never bother me, 'cause I have you to hold. Yes, I'm just falling in love with you once more. Falling in love again with you. Da da do, do da 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 do da do do do, da da do 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 do. Some moments they may be cloudy, and some nights they may be cold. But later, oh, that can never bother me, 'cause I have you to hold. 'Cause I'm just falling in love with you once more. Falling in love again with you. I guess I'm just falling in love with you, it's for sure. Falling in love again with you. With you. With you. With you.
Rick Wino here on Rock On Radio. Rock on.
Nice.
Rock on. Wow. We're getting pretty good at that.
Yeah, okay.
Rock on. And there you have
Mhm.
it. Good night.
So Claire, we're starting a new band, I understand,
Yeah,
and it will be called.
Claire and the Wingman.
That's it.
Or just Angel and the Wingman. We could do that for City of
Angel and Wingman.
Just City of Angels. who's the
Angel and a
wings.
Wingman.
Angel
That's a
and the
great name
Wingman.
for a band.
Angel and the Wing.
Wingman.
Wow.
And a defibrillator.
That'll be on defibrillator. It'll be on defibrillator records.
Clear.
Clear in the Wingman.
It'll be clear vinyl.
Clear.
Clear vinyl.
If you're just tuning in, this is Rock on Radio. Our guest tonight was Rick Wino. He's still here.
He is. He's going strong.
With many thanks to Glenn Goss and Nathan, Nadine, and David Usikkinen of the Hooters for calling in at the beginning of the program. If you want to reach out to us, you can find us on our brand new website, Danny Coleman's rockonradio.com, or the short link, the quick link, DCROR.com.
Yep.
And you can find us there.
And Rick has his website too, and all his events are on his website.
Yeah, what do you have for
Yes.
social media? Go ahead.
I posted an event.
RickWino.com. That's
Mhm.
RickWino.com. And I'm on YouTube. I'm on Facebook.
Mhm.
And Amazon Music. And also I should plug something. March. Yeah, I should really. Test the waters. Hey, the heart medicine's working great. No, oh, we have to go there. March 16th, I'll be below. No. March 16th at Common Sense Brewing in Bordentown.
Yes.
I'll be doing a special St. Patrick's party,
That is-
6:30 to 9:30 last time I heard.
That is the day before the High Holy Day.
Yes, and I have actually gotten 9 Irish songs together.
Whoa.
Are you allowed?
I think I'm Polish. Yeah,
He sings them in Polish.
my nationality ends in ish, so it's close enough.
It ends in O, apparently.
Wino. Wino.
Well, thank you, Rick, for hanging out.
Thank
with
you
us
for having
and,
me.
opening up your world a little bit to us tonight.
Yeah. Some subjects that were a little.
Yeah, we got a little.
It's all right. Serious.
You know what?
It's all right.
Maybe
Okay.
somebody needs it. You know, that's what I say.
Highly unusual for us.
Usually mayhem.
Art,
Yes.
what do you think? Moody Man or I'm a Hypocrite?
Which one's shorter?
Moody man.
I don't know. I'm not.
Moody man.
I'm not sure, but we'll do that. Earlier tonight in the program, as I said, we got a phone call from Glenn, Nathan, and David, and this is their songs from rehab or songs from
Oh, rehab. Yeah.
songs from a rehab. Why don't we do Mr. Moody Man? That
Yeah.
intrigues me.
Rock on.
Wow. And there you have it.
I had to get a defibrillator in there.
Was that what it was?
Is that what it was?
Killing my
Oh.
ear, baby. Woo!
That's my favorite sound. That saved my life.
Sound effects.
Clear.
You know, I just have to say, when my heart stopped, I was shocked.
Sure.
Which one did we say? We were
Moody man.
Moody Man. This is I'm a Moody Man by Glenn Goss and
GG.
Gigi Nadine.
Gigi Nadine.
and with help from David Usikkinen of the Hooters. And great talking to them guys. Mr. Wino, it's always a pleasure dealing with you, my friend.
Always a pleasure. Thank you for having me involved in this wonderful program for all these years, and I wish you another 10 years, another 20 years.
God, can you imagine?
You've certainly
so.
supported, original artists and live music. I mean,
Well, we've tried.
you certainly have.
We have definitely tried. So, but thank you. very
Oh,
much.
thank you.
All right. This is Mr. Moody Man from Songs from a Rehab here on Rock on Radio. Next week, M.A. Tappan here. Rock on.
sunrise fade away through the night all alone. Hey, Mr. Moody, are you blind? Are you just twisted with the crippled mind? When you close your eyes and say goodnight, your world's a big disguise. Your world's a big disguise. She says that every day's a miracle. He says that every hour's cursed with the memory of a fool's delight. Hey, Mr. Moody, if you must, you like to watch the flowers turn to rust. When you settle down and turn off the lights, your world's a big disguise. Your world's a big surprise. Hey, Mr. Moody, it's alright tonight. You're only happy when you're with your own kind. When we close the door and wave goodbye, your world's a big disguise. Your world's a big disguise.